Let's face it, we're all sick and tired of going in to customize a car only to find the heavily outdated Forza Aero is the only option. The wings and splitters look like the type of second-hand Halfords car mods that you'd find on eBay for £5, not the sort of thing that would give the finishing touches to your supercars. While the odd few cars do have body kits, they rarely have more than one to choose from. But on the other extreme, racing games such as Need for Speed go way overboard with the customization options. And even some of the older Forza titles did a better job on customization than the more recent ones. So as they are clearly capable of doing a better job, why do the newer Forza games have such limited customization options? Spoiler alert, no pun intended, it's all about the money. Firstly, it's important to understand the cost of implementing customization options from Forza's side of the picture. In order to feature any specific body kit, spoiler, splitter, etc., Forza first needs to get multiple licensing agreements sorted out. The first of which is with the manufacturer of that car. This stage is easier for Forza to sort out with some manufacturers than it is with others like Ferrari, who evidently don't appreciate people modifying their cars in real life, and even more so in a game. Back on Horizon 3 there was a wide body kit available for the 458 Italia, which Ferrari were quite unhappy about at the time. Since then we didn't see any more Ferrari wide body kits until Forza Motorsport in 2023, where we initially had the bugged 458 widebody, which has since been removed from the game. Most car manufacturers are not like Ferrari though. A lot of them really don't care too much about having their cars modified. So for them, this part of the licensing agreement with Forza is probably signed off over a lunch break. The next step of licensing agreements only comes into play with the bodywork mods that exist in real life, from brands such as Liberty Walk and Rocket Bunny. Forza obviously have to get permission from these brands in order to feature their body kits in the game. Initially, when Forza Horizon 5 came out, they clearly didn't have a licensing agreement in place with Rocket Bunny, as none of their body kits featured in the game at launch. Although Forza must have eventually come to an agreement, because we do now have some Rocket Bunny kits in the game. Nevertheless, sorting out all this licensing costs money for Forza in multiple ways, because they'll sometimes have to pay a sum of money to the brands involved in order to get the licensing agreements into place. And even for the ones that are free on that regard, there's still of course the cost of paying the wages for the employees at Forza who do all the paperwork and negotiation for the licensing. Unless Forza use slave labour, in which case that part would be free. But then the other big cost of implementing the customization options is getting them modelled into the game. When it comes to full wide body kits and certain other body mods, they essentially have to do a full 3D laser scan on a real car that has those mods on, then model it into the game. It's as if they were adding an entirely new car to the franchise. Then even for the body kits that aren't based off a real life one, someone obviously must design it first and then model it into the game. If they were to finally update the Forza Aero like we all want, they'd at least have to go through the entire process of modelling it onto all 800 plus cars in the game, even if they were to use the exact same wing and splitter designs for every car. The significant cost for this stage is once again the wages of the people who do all the work, once again assuming they're not slaves. So with all that out the way, where does all the cost pay off? Well, it's meant to be the fact that more customization options make the game better, which therefore causes them to sell more copies of the game. But the problem is, it doesn't seem to work like that. First of all, the cost of implementing a wide body kit is probably in most cases similar to the cost of implementing an entirely new car into the game, which presumably according to Forza's calculations is a more impactful factor when it comes to selling copies of their games. Which nicely leads on to what's ultimately the biggest reason, and that is the competition when it comes to selling the games. You see, the reason people will buy Forza games is because there simply is no good alternatives. For the Horizon series, there's no similar open world racing games that really rival it. Then for Motorsport, while it's more well rivaled, it's still the only modern simcade racing game on Xbox. All while, Forza are by no means a rival to games with loads of customization, like Need for Speed. So for Forza to begin to compete with the likes of Need for Speed in that regard, it would require severe cost to implement all the customization. While Forza certainly could increase the number of customization options in their games, it just wouldn't increase sales enough for it to be worth the extra cost. Which is why we'll likely be stuck with just the same old Forza Aero for a fair few years to come. And with that, thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.